This is WFO Radio.
Listen, good morning, or good afternoon, everybody on the East Coast. Good morning, everybody, Central Time. Good morning, everybody, West Coast. I'm Jason Logan.
And I'm Elon Warner, and we're Life's a Drag podcast.
Life's a Drag.
Live. We're live, back-to-back live. So
yeah,
enjoy
right.
your lunch with Life's a Drag.
Look at WFO. Boom. Right out the gate. Look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my fire.
Oh, you're wearing your fire?
T-shirt.
I bought a coffee mug today.
Nice.
So I'll be super coffee show. Just,
Yeah, we're listen, you can buy all your WFO merch there. We've got our t-shirts up there. You can put it on our logo on a hat, on a t-shirt, on a coffee mug, on all kinds of stuff. Make sure you do that.
Yeah. So happy Wednesday. We're in the midst of a 2-week hiatus for drag racing. So we will not we're going to give you some good racing info, but we're also not going to waste your time just vamping. So what's the latest? What's the hot button for you? We mentioned it earlier.
Hold on, look at Derek Green.
Nice.
Call y'all butter, baby, because you're on a roll.
Nice. I got called milkman at a basketball camp in high school because I always delivered early and I got sour late. I had no staying power in the afternoon. They kept calling me the milkman. And I was like, why do you guys call me the milkman? And they're like, well, first of all, they were saying it's because I was white. Second of all, it was because I always delivered in the morning and then I got sour in the afternoon.
White chocolate, baby. I love it.
It was awesome. NC State basketball camp the year after NC State won the national championship. It was awesome.
What? Thurl Bailey.
Yes.
He was
Thurl
on that
Bailey
team.
was there. The great Jim Valvano. I got most improved player of camp.
Nice.
So Jim Valvano, the great Jim Valvano, gave me a NC State basketball that I still have floating around here somewhere. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Thurl came out with Steve Torrance a couple years ago, and Clark was like walking him around. I got to meet him. I got a couple autograph pictures. I was like, Thurl Bailey, that guy's awesome. Yeah. He was
Clark.
Cool
for those of you who don't know, is Steve Torrance is one of his right hand men with a crazy Clark spelling, KLARQ.
Yeah.
So super good guy.
Very good guy. His kid is we talk about our kids playing sports. His kid's like a super amazing basketball player. My kid plays soccer. Clark used to ball like nobody's business back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Clark's got handle like Justin Ashton?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like if we're definitely starting a basketball team, I'm putting Clark's coaching. Let's put it like that. Clark's coaching. Okay.
He's the Greg Popovich.
Yeah, he's definitely coaching. So
all right, so probably the best news of the week is the Chris Bostic scare.
Yeah, what's
crazy? So for those of you who don't know, Chris Bostic crashed in Seattle at 150 miles per hour, walked away, was thoroughly evaluated by Safety Safari, going on about his business, goes to Sturgis because he's a motorcycle guy.
Have you ever been to Sturgis?
I've never been to Sturgis. That's a bucket list deal.
Yeah, I think I need to go.
I think I need to go too, but I just don't know how, I would like to go. You and I should go. Maybe we should see if we could get WFO Radio to send us up there on location.
Yeah, that seems like a place you and I would thrive in.
Yes, we would thrive there. So Chris Bostic's up there doing Chris Bostic motorcycle things, hanging out, and has like a serious medical condition.
Yeah,
like
blood leakage. Yeah, leakage.
And very serious. They don't treat him at Sturgis. They transport him to Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville, which top tier level, and they find a tear in his upper GI area and had to do surgeries and get him all fixed up. But it was a weird. He has a super long Facebook post today about it.
Yeah, I saw that before we got on the air here.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll Nicole, we'll keep it like PG-13. I think we say the F word one time.
Yeah,
we can pixel some stuff out. We can do that. Yeah. We have that technology.
Yeah, the cycle drag guy, he's there, and he's got some interesting posts if you want to see what's going on. But yeah,
Chris Bostic's okay. He'll be at the U.S. Nationals. Excited. Glad he's okay.
T's and P's.
Yeah.
Sturgis would be a cool thing. Sturgis is definitely cool. It'd be perfect going Sturgis than Brainerd because those places definitely have the same vibe going on.
And speaking of good vibes, the major motorsport event of the break, Night Under Fire this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing all good reports.
All up arrows.
Something. Eric had finally got something going on past weekend. Talk about it. Tell me what's up. You do way more about
the word on the street is, Caps won Funny Car, Justin Ashley won Top Fuel Dragster, Erica won Pro Stock. They had factory stock cars there. They had jet cars. They had pro mods. The biggest takeaway, Josh Hart was on Competition Plus Power Hour last night and said it was the best event he'd ever been to. Best drag racing event he's ever been to. And I would agree that the vibe there is like nothing like an NHRA national event. I mean, an NHRA national event, it's a competition. You're there to race. There's rules. It's just not a happy-go-lucky. And also it's scheduled, but there's a lot of variables.
Right. Yeah.
Night Under Fire has a set schedule, and the baiters have all these backup plans. Like they basically I think they had some oil downs or something during the finals, and it was dark, and they just started shooting off fireworks for 15 minutes. While they're cleaning up the track, they called an audible. They have $150,000 fireworks display, and on their audible was, let's just do a 15-minute fireworks display. Everybody's looking up. No one's paying attention to what's going on the track. When it was done, right back to racing action. Josh said it was awesome.
Smart.
Basically, that's, Josh is a business guy. Josh is in the customer service business. And if you're going to compare what happens at Night Under Fire to an NHRA national event, it is apples to oranges on,
Yeah, they put on a show. It's almost like Monster Truck.
Yeah.
Not that it's not that the competition part is
staged or anything.
Yeah, but they put on a show. I remember going to Monster Trucks and here comes the 4-wheeler riding around, doing their thing. They definitely put on a show.
Yeah. I think we could get there. I think we could, and it's really once you get past first round. I feel like once you get past first round, the drivers and riders that are still in it, they just have to know there's a set schedule.
Yeah.
And we're going to hit these marks and we're going to hump it, and you're going to have an hour, 50-minute turnarounds, and we're going to be in your pits. We're going to bring you up on the starting line to talk, and we're going to make it a show for quarterfinals, semifinals, finals.
Yeah, I kind of wish that happened at our events.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, we're on TV today, so maybe don't oil down the track. I know we're not trying to do that, but just kind of button everything up a little tighter. We want to put on a show, and everybody complains, everything's falling apart, we're dying out here. Well, how about we tighten it up?
Yeah,
just tighten it up a little bit.
So Night Under Fire, huge. Josh Hart, big fan. I think if someone said he could do the Night Under Fire series, I mean, he would, because it was him. It was perfect. It was right across from R&L Carriers. He went like Friday, toured the R&L Carrier Distribution Center, spent time with them, brought a bunch of those people to the races, and then put on a good show.
Yeah. We need more of those events. We need more Night Under Fires, throughout the country. I mean, South Georgia Motorsports could do something, on the West Coast. We need more of those things.
These places. And it was funny that I'm trying to think who may have been Woody from Elite was at the event with Erica. And he said that he went around because he's a talker like us.
Sure.
And he's asking people, what are they doing? How do they get? He said 80% of the people there were not national event customers, that they were just there for the show.
Yeah.
And we need to figure out how you can grab those people, or just create an event to like, I think the South Georgia Motorsports Park showcase events, or events like a showcase event, or pro superstar shootouts, or night under fires. Those, and we used to have those, the Cavalcade of Stars, Coca-Cola Cavalcade of Stars.
Yeah.
They would just go around match racing, and that's where you get, like Prudhomme was talking in Sonoma about, it was just a different time when he was racing. If these guys were on like a match race circuit of some kind, and it was a winner take all type deal, and promoters were paying you based on performance or burnouts or whatever, you don't think if Steve Torrance and Justin Ashley were at some event and it was winner take all, and one of those guys felt like they got slighted and didn't get their $25,000, you don't think that would carry over to the national event and they'd be a little bitter about that?
Of course. And I can't get wound up, because I think that's what we need. It's some more of the barnstorming, the more of the, let's get back to the old days, and do some barnstorming and go to these little places. And I know we're trying to do that with some stuff, but I think that's how working at this Disney job, they have cornered the market on nostalgia. I mean, everybody's got a Disney story. Everybody has a, oh my God, I remember when I did this and I went and did that. And, just going back through the time, everybody knows when they went to thetheir first drag race. Everyone knows. And you can harken back to it. I mean, I remember watching Wide World of Sports, and that it was Evel Knievel, and then here comes Big Daddy Don Garlitz, and Don the Snake.
It was Snake and Mongoose for Shirley, and that's the part that, again, I'm not saying it'll be easy. I'm not saying it'll be cheap, but what's to stop? Like, let's say we're going to Brainerd this weekend,
right?
Come 2 weekends. Where is there a close racetrack 60 miles away, drag strip, that we couldn't put a funny car and top fuel dragster on flatbeds, pursuit vehicle, drive them up there, and they just do a side-by-side 2 8-mile passes.
Yeah.
To get people fired, to literally get people fired up.
Yeah.
And it's a point deal, or it's something. I mean, that would be, and then you can come and see 15 of them or 16 of them at Brainerd International Raceway next, 2 days later.
Just get the hype out there.
Yeah.
I know they do that in Indy, like at the Fan Fest or leading up to the, the big go. They come out there and they fire up a car every once in a while.
And that's the problem. Our cars are just too complicated right now.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's, I've seen the pictures back in the day of the Indy car field at Sonoma crossing the Golden Gate Bridge. That would be really cool. I mean, but you can't, no one's going to let you do a burnout on the Golden Gate Bridge. It would be effing awesome.
Yeah. Like Nicole says, what about Clay on the street at Goodyear?
Yeah. I mean,
you're
looking at, okay, how can we go to a track, go to an airfield, the Field of Dreams type deal. Let's go to an Air Force base and, race, do exhibition runs there, burnouts, or, it's a whole thing, but we're going to need to Savannah Banana the crap out of our sport if we want it to really, create some interest.
How funny is it that we Savannah Banana? Those guys have gotten so huge.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy. Mac,
why not? Our backup people. We need to get back to the backup people being entertaining. Can we get a backup person that can juggle? Can we get a backup person that can sword swallow? Can we get a backup person that can, break dance?
Right.
Let's trick it up.
Moonwalk. Yeah, let's
trick it up.
I'm all for that stuff. And you know what's funny is that's what the Bader family does best.
Yes, they do the best.
Do that
stuff. Why not put your backup person on stilts? Or you have 2 backup people. You have that backup person that's in charge of truly lining the car up, but they have a partner that's out there doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
And
we got to get back to that stuff.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, listen, that's the whole reason why I'm out here. Hey, there's an oil down. Let's bring this idiot out. Let's let him do some
But we need to give you access to, like, bear cubs or, pigeons or, a big Nerf gun, something to really get people fired up.
Yeah,
music is great, but music without dancers, you should have just a whole corral of dancers.
I would like dancers. I would definitely like the low zone dance troupe out there.
But speaking of Disney, you had a little kick-ass Disney experience this weekend as part of the Worldwide Leader, correct?
I did. So my Disney job is definitely it's fun. So ESPN's doing the whole 50 days in 50 states thing, all the different sports. Well, because we have Wide World of Sports out at Disney, they brought the Ocho out to Wide World of Sports. So it was a whole day of programming around the Ocho. And I got to be MC for the morning part of it. I MC'd what did I do? Paintball. I MC'd wiffle ball. I MC'd Omega Ball, which is 3 soccer teams playing at one time. And I MC'd kickball. And it was the dumbest thing ever. I mean, I have video. I should have put that up there.
I want to play. I need to get back out. It's funny you say kickball because I was talking to a buddy that I want to get an active, like a legit kickball game up and running. Because to me, kickball is a fond, childhood, recess memory.
Yeah. It was, and we played it just like that. I mean, I'm out there giving the rules. There was maybe like 50 people. It was all people that were families of the people playing. And then the kickball guys all came from North Carolina. And they pay their own way, but they're on TV. They're on TV. And I'm like, I was talking with some of the ESPN people, and we're just kind of like standing around. These games just come, and it's all done for TV. I mean, they've got the anchors like in a studio that's inside the building, and they have a TV truck out there, and I'm just out there for the fans and like in venue stuff, and I'm just like. Some guy in kickball kicked a home run over the wall, the whole thing. And one of the coaches was like, "Get ready! This was going out of the park. Watch this." And I'm like, "Okay, sure enough, boom, killed this thing." And I'm like, "That's a home run!" I pulled out all my
all your Harry Carey tricks, all your baseball tricks.
I was like, "Hi, everybody!" That whole, and they have their own sponsorship on the outfield wall. It was hilarious. And I'm like, "Hi, that home run was brought to you by, whatever I saw, whatever was out there." And I got a couple laughs out of people. But I'm talking to the ESPN people, and we're kind of on the first baseline. And this girl goes, "Oh, my God, we're on TV." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah?" She goes, I go, "How do you know?" She goes, "My mom's watching." Because we were on ESPN too, but it became the Ocho that day. And she goes, "I see you standing next to the guy with the towel on his." It was so hot. Oh my God, It was unbelievably hot. And I basically have a towel wiping my face. And and so we're like there. We started doing a little dance, just kind of moving and grooving, shaking it up. I was like, "Tell your mom we said hi." But so we got to be on the Ocho. It was great.
I'm glad we get comments like this from Mary. Reel it in, guys. Is this racing or a circus? Well, let's find a happy medium.
Hold up.
Let's find a happy medium, Mary. First of all, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting.
Yeah.
But we've got, if racing isn't keeping everybody entertained or isn't growing the tent, let's maybe mix in a little or racing circus. We can have, a
Mary. I don't understand why you don't like our lives.
Right. We're buffoons.
Yeah.
We would buffoon this thing up. You're lucky we're not in charge, or it would be wild.
Yeah, Mary. Oh my God, Mary made the list today.
Thank you for watching, and tell all your friends, because we want to. I think Oliver the Watusi. We're getting all these comments. So speaking of circus, Oliver the Watusi, I believe Oliver the Watusi may have a offspring. So I don't know if it's as big as Oliver, but it may be. We may be able to get second generation Oliver.
Kind of like
so this is for the 40th anniversary of the Motorplex. This is Oliver the Watusi, our massive longhorned animal. This is his swan song for 40th anniversary. So he'll be at all the Stampede of Speed events. But we're so appreciative. I mean, it's nothing better than seeing Ron Capps or Justin Ashley or Hagan climb on top of Oliver the Watusi in the winter circle. That just makes it for a crazy pick. So
yeah.
By the way, Mary, I was on TV. Mary,
yeah, he was TV. Also, let's talk 50 states in 50 days. Poor Mary.
I know Mary's gonna get it now.
Yeah, feel free to comment so we can just jump on and rip you. That's really good. Brand building. But my good buddy Ryan McGee was on. They were in South Carolina maybe the day before they got to Florida, and they were doing cornhole. And it was him and Marty Smith, world record holder for longest cornhole, which I saw in person at the University of Georgia a couple years ago. Legit world record. It was a crazy, crazy scene there. But they were talking cornhole and another sport that has just kind of taken off. And I would love to see what that event looks like live, because I feel like it's obviously made for TV.
Yes.
But it's presented like there's these crowds there, and I bet there's maybe 500 people there.
Well, that was the whole point of the Ocho. There's like not even anybody there. It was they were all the fans of the family members of the people playing. I was like, come on, what are we doing here? But
yeah, and that's there's things that are made for TV, and then there's things that are made for live audiences, and we do a really good job, I think, of having both. But it would be nice, But it cracked me up. They interviewed a couple of the cornhole guys, and it was really painful to watch. They are obviously cornhole players. They were not. It was as bad as anyone thinks our drivers get on TV and get ripped for one-word answers or not being very passionate. These guys did not give a real strong. They were not the Ric Flairs of cornhole. It's hard.
But that's why we have people like you, because you have to coach these guys up.
Yeah.
Listen, Josh Hart, not a super big talker.
No, but he can be. He's like a grease fire. He'll just flare up on you, but he kind of goes around his whole life with the lid on. But sometimes that lid gets kicked off. Jason Galvin has kicked that lid off, and now Josh Hart is like a dog with a bone on taking the announcers to task and creating drama, and I'm here for it. And let's make it personal. Let's get out there. Let's get like Michael Jordan said. Obviously, Galvin said some stuff. Josh reacted. They made up. But it's still stuck in his craw, and it's obvious that Josh Hart, I took that personally.
Yeah, and
there's nothing wrong with that. I love it.
Yeah, and that's good.
Delivery.
Nicole said right here, Josh was so good last night on Power Hour. So honest, good.
Yeah.
But you know what though? It kind of needed Galvin to light a fire under him a little bit to get him out of his
just get him up on his tire. But all these guys, whatever, it takes it personally.
Well, and like yesterday on Joe's show on WFO, we had Tony Schumacher on there, and I've seen him talk a million times, and I'm kind of like on the fence with him a little bit. I'm like, okay, whatever, who cares? Move along. But yesterday, he gave a great interview. I was like, wow, this guy. I'm all in with this guy. And, I think our sport's a million times better with him in it and out there as a racer. But yesterday he was great. And the fact that he dropped Grease 2 references, I was so happy because Allie Bland and Hannah Rickards hate Grease 2. And I find that movie to be fantastic.
Well, I don't know that I've ever seen Grease 2.
Oh,
I mean,
you have to see it.
Yeah, I'll look into it. But the great thing about Tony is he's got the skins on the wall.
Yes.
He's got a personality, and he'll talk shit. He'll come after you. I mean, he came after Justin Ashley. a couple years ago, everyone was talking about how great Justin was, and Tony was like, hold my beer a little bit. I'll show you how great you are, reaction time guy.
Yeah.
And having him out there in the countdown, he'll totally shake up the countdown. The guy can drive. He's got 8 world championships. He's dominated Indy.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. Grease 2. Bad, but fun. Exactly. Yeah. We're gonna bowl tonight.
I just haven't seen Grease 2. It's just, but
who's that?
It's just not something that,
I will say this. He was talking about Michelle Pfeiffer, and I literally laughed out loud in my car listening to the show when he talked about, he was talking about Michelle Pfeiffer not being that bright in the movie. And I was like, dude, that guy, he dropped the hammer on her. I have a question for both of you. With next year being the 20th anniversary of NHRA Norwalk, what are some of your favorite memories from that race? Really?
All right. I can tell you mine is, I think Tim Wilkerson beat Force in the final. And I looked out of the window, and I think it was Bob Wilbur was either carrying Tim Wilkerson on his back across the starting line or vice versa. But it was the most crazy Tim Wilkerson, Bob Wilbur, just out the window, one of them carrying each other like piggyback style across the back.
Nice.
And then my saddest is Josh Hart was having a great day there, kicking everybody's ass, and a rainstorm came through right before the finals against Mike Salinas, and it just totally shook the track thing up. And then it was just a big garbage pedal fest in the Top Fuel final. And that
was that like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. And had, you go back, like when those things happen and you're like, we missed it by like 10 minutes. Like if the rain could have held off for 10 minutes, we'd have gotten the race in. It would have started raining.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you just go back in your head and you find the 10 minutes of just BS delays during the day that a junior drags oil down or sportsman this or guys were late. And, that's Evan Jonett tracks all that stuff. Like he can tell you, this is why we didn't do this. Here's the 5 things. Like, what was it? What was it a few years ago? We were in Reading and we were going live TV, and Evan went around to all the teams and said, you got to be ready to go. We're going to be on live TV, no horsing around, quick turnaround, 50-minute deals. And during opening ceremonies, they shot off fireworks before the race, and all the firework paper blew onto the track, and we started 25
Was that
minutes
at Reading?
late.
That
was at Reading.
Yeah. That was
at Reading. And after all this stuff of like getting everybody all fired up to go be on time, the track just, hey, might want to get that message to the track guys.
Yeah, listen there.
It was
that
so
is
great.
so great.
That's
awesome.
so
perfect because
I felt so bad for Evan. That's so perfect.
That's the stuff that happens. And like in Seattle, we had a flyover. And I've said it before. All I care about is if we have a flyover, I want that, and the home of the flyover, Brave. I want it to happen right there. And Joe was so upset because our whole pre-race in Seattle got all screwed up, and we were ahead, and then we were behind, and then we were fighting time, and myself and Evan kind of keep track of everybody because like, all right, I'm like, Joe, you're like 5 minutes ahead. Joe, you're like 5 minutes behind. Let's keep it going, and then all of a sudden the anthem singer just goes rogue and just starts singing something, and we were like, oh no. And she just sped up, and so we were like, the home of the Brave. 45 seconds later, here comes.
I think the flyover happened right after the first pair.
Yeah, it was terrible. And
it was a celebration of the first pair of Top Fuel Breakers going down the track. Here's a flyover. And it was so anti-climate. I wish the only way they could have been better is they would have just dropped propaganda flyers out of the airplane.
Right. But yeah, there's so many factors that go into our pre-race that we just can't control. And when like you said, when those fireworks went off, it was great. But I'll never forget my favorite Norwalk event was like 2 years ago. I'm there playing music, and the Banter family likes it really loud, so it kind of overdrives the speakers. And one beautiful fan needed to tell me how horrible I was to my face. You're the worst DJ ever. It's your problem. You suck. I was like, bro, it is not me. This guy lit me up like nobody's business. I was like, I don't understand why you're yelling at me. Yeah. And Joe saw it. Hannah saw this guy. Every time he walked past me, you're the effing worst. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Thank you, Norwalk.
Thank you. Go get your ice cream, sir. Have a nice day.
It's awesome, though. I love when people yell at me like that. It's just the greatest thing ever. I don't know what, Jim, I don't know what song I really can't play out there. I can play whatever I want. I like, here's what happens when that guy yelled at me. Like, I know my crowds. Like Sonoma, I can play pretty much anything and get away with it. At Norwalk, it's all classic rock. You gotta play classic rock because they've been trained for classic rock. But when guys like that yell at me, guess what? I'm dropping Notorious B.I.G. at you. Yeah. You're gonna get some hip hop.
You're gonna get
whether
some
you like it or not. Yeah. Oh, you're definitely getting country.
You're gonna get some.
You're gonna get, and that's just my civil disobedience right there. I'm just gonna kind of just drop whatever I want, and so I can play whatever I want, But yeah, you want to pay some bills real quick?
Let's pay some bills, then we'll come back.
Let's come back and talk John Force stories because we like John Force stories. Here we go.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Looking to replace your OEM diesel particulate filter or diesel oxidation catalyst? Look no further than DPF XFit, a complete line of aftermarket diesel particulate filters and diesel oxidation catalysts designed as an exact fit OEM replacement with all makes coverage for light, medium, and heavy-duty trucks. With thousands of units in stock, we ship the same or next day, and be sure to check out our comprehensive reverse OEM lookup tool. Always new, never remanufactured. For more information, be sure to visit dpfxfit.com. That's dpfxfit.com. The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
Redline oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
By the way, watching that last commercial, I saw Jasmine Salinas in there, and she's going to be back in Indy.
Yeah.
We're excited for that.
All right. Norwalk specialty race, crazy stuff. I have a crazy John Force specialty race story.
Lay it on us.
A few years ago, Force did an appearance in San Air at the track outside of Montreal. And he's talking, we're heading out to the deal, and we're with the promoter. And he's talking about, hey, when I used to come here to these races, there was a guy that ran the track that lived in a tower, and he had a lion in a cage underneath the tower for security. And the promoter, Martin DeAnger, was like, oh, that guy still lives there. He's still there.
The lion?
No, the lion guy. He doesn't have the lions anymore.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But we go and talk to the guy, and it's this crazy building. We go in, it's round. It's true like a Bond villain there. Has all these cameras all over the property. And we're talking, this is where Force won his first race. He won the last event there. and we're talking to him, and there's just junk everywhere. And as we're about to leave, he's like, "Oh, it's so great to see you again." He's like, "Oh, I've got something I want to give you." And he goes and rummages through these boxes, and he pulls out these tickets, and he gives us one. And this is a ticket from the 1987 race, John Force's first win, untorn.
What year was that?
1987. So that's a
Grand National Molson.
Yeah. So he hands one to me, hands one to Cole, Steve Cole, who was with us in Force, and like we're just like shocked. And then he also had tickets from the 1992 race, which was like the last race that Force also won. That was the last NHRA event in Montreal. So we go and do the event, and I'm telling Martin, the promoter guy that I know, I was like, "Hey, go back and ask that guy about those tickets," because he just has them in a box. I go,
right.
If he'll give me more of those tickets, I'll pay him for those tickets. And Martin's like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." I go, they're historic. I mean, John Force's first win, unused tickets.
I guarantee you can get money off of this thing.
So
for those.
We're there for like 2 days. On the last day, Martin comes up and is like, "Hey, I went and talked to the guy about the tickets," and he hands me a bag, Jason.
Let's put those up in the WFO shop. Put those up in the WFO shop.
1987 tickets, and I have even more. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with them.
Oh, put them in the WFO shop. That's going to be the highest grossing
I was going to
get
them slabbed, but look at that. Unused Grand National tickets.
That's awesome.
So totally legit. But Force was just like blown away by the guy who was still there. He was super nice, but that's where Force won his first race. And I have a whole fistful of untorn tickets from 87 and 92.
Why don't we go back to Canada? Why?
I don't know. I think it's expensive.
Yeah,
I think it's
guess
really
crossing
that's
the border.
Ultimately what cost Corey McClenathan his Top Fuel champion. When Jimmy Prock was Corey McClenathan's Top Fuel champion or Top Fuel crew chief, they were racing and they didn't go to the Canadian race because it was too expensive. And Corey lost the championship by less than a round. If he would have just gone to Canada,
right,
he'd be Top Fuel world champion.
Why? But like, why is it so expensive? Why? We're just driving a road. I mean, it's not that
but
crazy.
I think there's all the regulations, and Canada's got different rules, and
I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know if the tracks can hold up or whatever, but yeah. So
Nicole's helping us out. You have to inventory everything in the rig. Crazy restrictions. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we got another off week. So I don't want to get too far ahead talking about Brainerd, but someone threw out a question about the zoo. And that's probably the biggest thing I'm getting excited about going to Brainerd is the whole zoo vibe.
Well, what's the zoo?
Yeah.
Roscoe. What's up, Roscoe? You never been to the zoo before?
Yeah. So the thing that Brainerd has going for it, it's a unique track because they have the best camping. And it is Canada.
It is that's funny. But yeah, they get there like on Monday.
Yeah.
Before
and
the
now
race.
even before, because Sarah Walker, who's running the track now, they have a divisional, kind of like the Motorplex does the weekend before. So now they've almost got their own kind of building a sort of Stampede of Speed event of their own with the divisional. Right. And then so people are going to be camping there for over a week. And it's a whole ecosystem out there. It's kind of like, it's like Burning Man North.
It really is. It really is.
There's trading, there's concerts, there's booze. I mean, it used to be like everything. It used to be
there's like
much
a Ron
crazier.
Caps village.
There's a whole Ron Caps
out there.
deal out there. Bruno and Steve Torrent. There's rickshaw races. It's just there's party barges. So it's kind of like Broadway from Nashville meets Survivor meets Animal House.
Yeah, Animal House, exactly.
It's a whole.
Nicole, that's your home track, and that was the
Yeah.
first time you went to the zoo was with me. That's crazy.
Yeah, we've lost crew guys out there. Jeff Arend broke his foot coming back from the zoo.
He was jumping over a fence.
Don't go out to the going to the zoo is not for the faint of heart.
No, and I love when we get new people working for the NHRA because we have to take them into the. One year we all wore our fire shirts out there.
Right.
We got those out. Yeah, you gotta go with a buddy. You can't go in there by yourself. It is.
Ashley Force's rookie year of funny car racing. Force was like, don't go to the zoo. Don't go to the zoo. I mean, built it up like it was basically Escape from New York type situation. But she knew Dave Dinsmore and I were going to go out there. So she was like, hey, you guys have been really doing a great job this year. I knew you guys were heading out to the zoo. I want to give you guys the stuff to take out there. And she gave us like almost a full sleeve of Ashley Force signed Castrol hats. We didn't pay for anything in the zoo.
No.
And we use those hats for all kinds of debauchery. Once people found out we were the guys with the Ashley Force autographed hats, they're offering their wives up there. It was just really got sideways real fast what people were willing to do to get an Ashley Force signed hat. But
man.
Basically, we just would roll up to because they just have bars. Like you're in a golf cart and they're just like the campsites, and they would have full tiki bars, like roofs, bars, stools, lights, music. And we would just pull up and be like, hey, what do you got going on here? And they're doing like Jaeger bombs, beers. They couldn't sell anything. But
they'll take your money.
Or they could sell food. I think
right.
So they would sell you a bag of chips for $5, and your bag of chips came with a complimentary Coors Light.
Right. Yeah, there's the Jaeger bar in the back, and then there's Camp Pallet around the turn.
Yeah.
Camp Pallet's always good. We've fired up the bonfire with a jet car one year.
Yep.
We've done that. The nitro blender rolls out every once in a while. That's always good. But yeah, it gets crazy in the zoo, man. And they do a fireworks show on Saturday night, which it can always be fun.
Yeah.
Lots of craziness goes.
I went out there one time with sweet Kelly Wade and Pat Caparelli, who is the Mopar PR person.
Right.
And we're just driving around, and there's a huge stage there. Like they bring bands up from Minneapolis. Oh, yeah. And Pat said something about she always wanted to introduce a band, like before, like at a concert. And I was like, let's go. So we just rolled up behind the stage, and I was just like, I'm like in my Castrol GTX uniform shirt,
right?
Credential. And I was like, hey, we want to go talk to whoever's running this deal. And they're like, okay. So we just get back there and we kind of go and say, hey, we want to introduce the next band. Can we do that? And the guy's like, yeah, let me ask them. So we just went out there, and they're like, yeah, these guys don't care. And we're like, what's the name of the band? And we just went out there, and once we went out to the front of the stage, Jason, when you get up, the lights hit you.
Yeah.
And there's thousands of people. Pat kind of froze up a little bit because it was like a thing.
Yeah.
But we just full on, you want some effing rock and roll? You John Force fans, you Mopar fans. And we gave them a pretty raucous introduction. And then as I'm going off the stage, I'm like high-fiving all the guys in the band. And they're looking at us like
somebody.
What the hell just happened?
Right.
What was that all about? And we just went up, got on the golf cart, and like bucket list, check.
Done. Introduce the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really drunk back in the zoo. I don't to the point where I'm like, how did I get it? I've been pulled over, gotten out of that ticket because I was over by campground or like a camper. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just getting in that thing, and they busted out there. Yeah, you got to watch out though. The cops will pull you over, and you will get arrested.
I was a little down on power. We went out Friday night, and then Saturday I was a little down on power. So after Q3, I'd come back to the press room over on the driver left side, and they have a restroom, and there's a little park bench. And I sat down on that park bench right after Q3, and I was like, I'm just going to close my eyes for a second. And I woke up when Q4 was starting with top fuel burnouts.
Oh.
And I just taken a little nappy nap for a couple hours.
Yeah, you got to charge back
just
up.
Out in the open. No one bothered me. No one drew mustache on me with a Sharpie. Totally. So shout out to the fans.
Yeah, there's plenty of pictures of me sleeping in a golf cart of some sort, either in Vegas or at Brainerd, because it's just that's what happens.
So you've got the zoo to look forward to in a couple weeks. But unrelated to that, let's circle back to the zoo that you're currently in at Disney.
Oh my God.
With your boat. Any good boat stories?
So my Amphicar, here's something else, guys. It costs money to do this thing, but tip your waiters and waitresses, please.
Yeah.
No one tips anymore. I don't understand what's going on in the world of tipping culture. But so these cars, these Amphicars that I drive, they're from the 60s, right? And they don't make parts for them anymore.
Uh-oh.
And you've got to they have to fabricate stuff. Well, the other day I got in the Amphicar, went out to drive, and you go around, you take this thing. It's a 4-cylinder engine. It's a stick shift, and you got to when we launch these cars, you take it out of gear, and the props go right. So, but to get back up the ramp, you got to throw it back in gear. Well, I'm in white 3. These are the names of these cars: white 3, white 8, blue 4. I throw this thing in gear, and I'm trying to get it in gear. Well, it's a boat. We're drifting. There's wind. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And I can't get it in first gear because I can't find first gear. So then I'm trying to jam this thing in there. I finally get it in gear. Well, now I'm in a point of no return where I'm going to hit the dock. And I'm okay, I got to throw this thing in. I got to put the boat in reverse to get out of the thing. Well, you got to double clutch this thing to get it in reverse. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I can't get the boat.
And there's people in the back, right? I mean, I
got a car full of people. There's 4 people in this thing. And they're like, oh, you can do it. Come on, man. You got it. And I'm like, oh, here we go. This is going to happen. Well, I finally get this thing. I'm to the point of no return. I can't get it in reverse. I hit the dock. And I hit the dock with my headlight. Now, this car's from 1963. I didn't realize how big of a deal this would be to hit this car, knock out the headlight, because I'm like, all right, the light still works. So I just knocked the lens off. Finally get it reversed, and my supervisor's like, he's on the radio, Jason, just back it up. He's all pissed off. Like, dude, I didn't mean it. And everybody is broken a car. Everybody, they're like, dude, okay, you just knocked out a headlight.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah. Man, you would have thought I shot the president. I had to fill out reports. I'm like, what the heck is
forms
going
on top of forms?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I
get your TPS report squared away.
Yeah, the TPS reports were ridiculous. I'm like, you know what? Fire me. It's no big deal.
So,
but yeah, I'm breaking cars now.
Does anyone have video of this? Because I would love to submit it to these guys that have the dock videos, that's
the wavy boats. Oh yeah.
I want to. If you want me to go down a rabbit hole, show me videos of guys trying to back vehicles, or they just drown their trucks.
Oh yeah. Have you seen the guys that bring 100 people out to the boat dock and cheer people
them on? Yeah, that's so great.
So awesome.
That's I'm the worst at backing up boats. Yeah.
See, I'm pretty good at it. I'm actually very deep. I'm good at backing up a boat and backing up anything. I'm good at that.
I look at our crew guys. I look at the crew guys that park on the 18-wheeler rigs on tour, and they get them 2 inches apart and all that. I'm like, not for $1 million. I would just impossible. And then they back the cab out in a 27-point star, turn to get them out of place. I was like, no. Phoenix is the worst place to park rigs, I think. It's super skinny. Yeah. And apparently that's a real hassle. Brainerd's kind of nice because they've got a ton of space up there, but there's some places that are super tricky, I think. Virginia's real tricky.
Norwalk's got to be tricky.
Norwalk has got to be tricky too. And we got off a little bit. They put a tent up at Josh Hart's Hospitality this year. And even though it was marked on the ground in orange spray paint, they still set it up 6 feet off. And that just the trickle down effect of that was just too much for Evan to handle. We had to shuffle it was like a trickle down effect of like 6 teams got screwed because the guys put the tent in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always fun. But yeah, that's it's definitely fun. But if you ever come to Disney Springs and everybody says they're coming, come on out to the Boathouse, the number 2 restaurant in the country, and you can see me out there driving people around. I put on a whole show. It's a whole thing, man. It's a vibe. I got to go there today and work.
All right.
And it's been rainy and like the end of the world every night. So my 7-hour shift got cut into 3 hours. And it's just that's no fun.
Oh, but, so it's not all weather. If it's raining, you don't go out. Or is that a lightning?
No. Well, if it's raining, we will go out. But if it's lightning, we will not go out. And then we've had some lightning showers here, or lightning storms the past couple nights that were.
That's a tricky deal at the drag races when we're dealing with that weather. It's the whole lightning. 7 miles away, you got to get everyone out of the grandstands.
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're 10 miles out. If it's 10 miles out, and we had the last night, my supervisor sent us out when lightning was 8 miles out, and that was a no-no. And I go, hey, he goes, just hurry this one up. My 20-minute ride became 15 minutes, and I go, how far is the lightning? He goes, I'm not going to tell you. He was 8 miles out. I'm like, dude, really?
Oh man.
I go, I live in Florida. I know how bad this lightning gets. So.
Right, so Brainerd coming up, off weekend this week. I don't really think there's that much racing going on this weekend.
No, Joe's in Brainerd this weekend for the divisional.
So you got the Brainerd divisional, which will be fun. Snowmobiles. So we'll get snowmobiles, even though there's no snow, very unstable.
Very unstable. They tend to put oil on the track.
And their oil is bonkers.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, this was the scene last year of all the broken rear ends.
Right. That's right.
We've solved that problem, knock on wood, hopefully. I think you're going to get Ida Zetterstrom sighting. So this is kind of the ramp up for Indy. So this will be another crazy event, good weather. They'll give you the Paul Bunyan hats. But yeah, so I don't want to waste everybody's time with us just talking about nonsense, but could we be interested in pulling the plug on today's show? You got anything else?
Yeah. I what movie I just watched? Just one quick one.
Hit me.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Okay. Yeah. I've not watched that. What were your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts.
I loved it. It was so good.
But was it basically just Instagram reels jammed together for 2 hours?
No. Okay. It was the perfect blend of that though. They had, they went back and forth, and it was so good. It was so good.
That was how somebody described it to me. Was it's got all these throwbacks and all the cameos, and they're like, it's basically just a bunch of Instagram reels kind of jammed together in chronological order. Which
it is. There are those, but there's so many. I can't. You have to watch it because you'll be like, okay, I get it. It was so good. It was really good for a sequel. I was like, all right, he did a great job with this.
All right, okay, you sold me. Once again, the Jason Logan recommendation is ultimately the recommendation I'm looking for.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the movie this weekend coming out called Weapons. Have you heard about this? It's a horror movie.
No,
it's got the lady. It's the actress that played Ruth in Ozark.
Okay.
And it's basically like this story where this teacher's whole classroom of kids disappear at the exact same time overnight. It's supposed to be wild. I cannot wait to watch that. So,
Nicole, that was one of the funniest parts of that entire movie.
Yeah. So, we got homework. Happy Gilmore 2. Go see a movie this weekend because there's not. Yeah, and F1. I'm thinking about going and seeing F1 again.
I got to see that. Yeah, I want to.
It is worth it. And also, it's funny. I was watching the F1 race this past weekend from Budapest or wherever they were.
Right.
And my whole time I'm thinking, this is really a lot like the movie. because I don't watch a lot of F1. So I mean, they did a good job of all that stuff. So, all right, dude. Next Wednesday we'll be live again.
Live, and we'll definitely get more into Brainerd.
Go to the WFO merch store. Big sale at the WFO merch store. The link is in our comments.
I'll bring it right back up. There it is.
Yes. Get to the WFO store. Big sale. Lots of cool stuff. Get a Life's a Drag mug, t-shirt, get a FIA t-shirt, all that stuff. But, dude, I'll look forward to chatting you up next Wednesday live at noon Eastern.
That's it. Like, share, do the whole thing.
All the stuff.
Hit the
Follow
button.
us on social media. Send us the stuff.
Yeah, my mom's like, where can I find your podcast? And I told her I had to walk her through the whole YouTube hit the button thing. So there you go. Guys, thank you very much. Have a great week,
everybody.
Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
It'll be awesome.
It will be awesome.